Many of you have been asking for advanced vocabulary. Here is a video for all of you. Beginners also watch the video. Don't get frightened of it. Intermediate level learners also watch, because when you see something which is higher than your level, you tend to aspire to that level. You feel that you should reach that level. Therefore, learning good vocabulary to describe people and their actions is a very good way of developing your English, of developing your vocabulary. Once you learn these words, once you learn to use them, you will find that you have benefited immensely from their use. Since the words are there on the screen, check the spelling. Since the sentences are there on the screen, check the structure of the sentence and how these words are used. Since I'm reading it out to you, check the pronunciation. Spellings and punctuation are also there, and every word meaning is given. So read the word, read the meaning many times and try to use them in at least 10 sentences of your own. This is the first of the 6 words which I'm giving you. If I give you too many words, you won't remember them. Learning little by little is much better. So we have only 6 words today, but we have many things. One is that you learn the meaning and the usage. You learn its spelling. You also learn the way in which sentences are to be constructed. The first word is pragmatic. P-R-A-G-M-A-T-I-C. Pragmatic describes a person who focuses on practical solutions. Many people just keep imagining things. They set a goal, but they don't achieve it because they are not pragmatic. If you have a problem, if you have a difficulty, then it is a pragmatic person who can find the solution. In your team, in your house, in your group, you need people who are pragmatic. Therefore, pragmatic is a very important word for you to learn. We can also describe pragmatic for work, something which a person has done, that also can be described as pragmatic. Pragmatic is an adjective. Look at the 2 sentences where pragmatic is used to describe a manager and a youngster, 2 nouns. So let us read the sentences. The pragmatic manager could find a way out of the serious crisis in the company. Suppose the manager had not been pragmatic, he could not have found a solution. The problem was serious. The company could have closed down. Everybody could have lost their job, but that did not happen. The reason was that the manager was pragmatic. So you find that is the use of the word pragmatic, a person who finds practical solutions. Now look at the second sentence. The pragmatic youngster decided to save money now so that he would not have to struggle later. A young person not wasting money, not saying that I will spend more than I earn, but saving money so that in later life that person would not have to struggle, would not have to feel that he or she has no money. So the pragmatic youngster decided to save some money now so that he would not have to struggle later. Here is the second word, assertive. A-S-S-E-R-T-I-V-E. Assertive is a person who can say what he or she wants, not keep it in mind. A person who expresses his or her ideas confidently and emphatically. Emphatically means with force, with conviction, that I want to convince you, I want to persuade you. And confidently, that is without hesitating, without, saying one word and saying, okay, no, I don't think that is right. That is not assertive. So it is very important for a person to be assertive. If 10 people give you 10 different pointers, then you have to be assertive to choose one. Suppose somebody is telling you to join a group which you don't feel like joining. Then you have to say no, but you have to be assertive. Suppose you want the work done in a particular way. Nobody in your team agrees. Then what you need to do is, you need to say, I want it done like this, in an assertive manner, confidently and emphatically. Look at the two sentences. Again, assertive is an adjective. We are using it in the form of a complement, that is, not as in front of a noun, but behind a noun, separated by the verb. She was assertive. That is the structure of the sentence. She was assertive. Now, what did she do by being assertive? In asking for a raise. Raise is, enhancement of salary. I want more salary. That is what. She was assertive in asking for a raise, as she had been performing excellently in her role. Whatever her position was in the job, she was doing very well. So now she felt that she needed a better salary. And unless you ask assertively, assertive means, to be positive also, not fighting. That is called aggressive. You have to understand the difference between assertive and aggressive. That is homework for all of you. Now the next sentence. You must learn to be assertive and say what you want without shouting at people. Now, assertive does not mean shouting at people. Say it firmly, say it strongly, say it emphatically, confidently, but don't shout. That is assertive, not aggressive. The third one is a fairly simple word. We use it all the time. Ethical. E-T-H-I-C-A-L. Whenever we talk about corruption, we are talking exactly the opposite of ethical. So what does an ethical person do? A person who chooses to do what is right and avoids doing what is wrong. That is ethical. Always doing what is correct, not doing something which is not acceptable. The doctor was so ethical that he did not suggest any unnecessary procedures to his patients. Now, this experience many people might have, that a doctor might say you do this or that which is unnecessary. So that is unethical. But here is the doctor who does not say anything which is not necessary for you. No treatment unnecessary. So ethical. Then the ethical judge, very important, because judge is a person who plays with the lives of people, did not hesitate to sentence his own son who had broken the law. Usually people will say, oh, my son, I cannot punish him. But the judge was ethical. So that description is given. You can frame an entire story based on these sentences. Our next word is diplomatic. D-I-P-L-O-M-A-T-I-C. A person who handles conflicts wisely and says the right things to resolve conflicts. If two people are fighting or two people don't talk to each other, a diplomatic person will help to make them friends again, or help to solve the problem or the conflict. It was the leader's diplomatic approach that ended the quarrel among his team. So the team was quarreling. Then the leader spoke in such a nice way, in a diplomatic way, so that the team members stopped quarreling. He was praised for being diplomatic in a situation where anyone else would have lost their temper. Now here, he did not shout or do anything. He spoke nicely. That is called diplomacy. Every country sends diplomats to other countries. What do? They try to build a relationship. They don't try to create problems. If there are problems between two countries, it is the diplomats who solve the problem. So you can see that he did not lose his temper. Word number 5, resourceful. RESOURCEFUL. Source, source is a word. So, resourceful. We added a prefix, we added a suffix. A person who is creative and finds new ideas in a situation where others admit defeat. Suppose they ask you to get a rare treasure. Everybody says, no, I cannot do it. We have many stories, fairy tales. Only one prince is able to go and get that treasure. We say this person is resourceful. He does not admit defeat. Finally does the work which others failed to do. Resourceful. Unless you are resourceful, you will not be able to overcome these challenges. So there are many difficulties in the path, and you have to find a way out of these difficulties. Therefore, you need to be resourceful. This project needs a resourceful person because there are many difficulties on the way. Here again, you have difficulties, and you have to find the right solutions to these difficulties. So you have to be resourceful. You have to find out various possibilities. That is what resourceful is all about. Here is the last of our 6 words. Disciplined. DISCIPLINED. A person who trains himself or herself to follow routine, discipline, achieve goals, and live an orderly life. You have a life which is very well arranged. You have everything in its right place. You get up in the morning, you do everything you have to do. The whole day you have well organized. That is a person who's disciplined. Only a disciplined person can complete this work successfully and on time. Unless you're disciplined, you will waste time, or you will not get success in whatever you're doing. So that is what a disciplined person has. The disciplined students believed in doing their assignments as soon as possible. Some students might wait by saying, oh, I'll do it at the last minute. But who's a disciplined student? Those students who are disciplined will do it well in advance, much before they have to finish or submit the assignment. So with these, we come to the end of the 6 words. If you learn these 6 words and try to make sentences out of them, then think of various ways in which people are described. When you come across in your reading or listening, note them down. Make the list longer, 10 words, 20 words. In this way, you keep expanding, your vocabulary improves, and your English also becomes better. Thank you and all the best.